Welcome to Free Blues Boxing. Welcome to Free Blues Boxing. Ryan Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao. Who you got? Welcome to Free Blues Boxing. We live. It is Tuesday, January 3rd, and we're gonna discuss Ryan Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao. It's gonna be a regular fight, not an exhibition, and it's gonna be a really interesting fight to be made. I don't know who's gonna win. Ryan Garcia coming off of beating Luke Campbell. Ryan Garcia coming off of beating Luke Campbell Saturday, January 2nd, with a knockdown body shot. Is he ready for Gervonta Tank Davis or Manny Pacquiao? The question is he ready for Gervonta Tank Davis or Manny Pacquiao? We're just going to have to see. Ryan Garcia is a great fighter, but he does not have a chin. He might not be ready for Manny Pacquiao. Both fighters, Manny Pacquiao and Ryan Garcia, are religious. They're both really fast fighters. They both have a big following. They both are really respected in the boxing world. Ryan Garcia was on his IG Live. He's not ready. I don't think Ryan Garcia is ready. Ryan Garcia was on his IG Live talking about he wants Manny Pacquiao before he wants Gervonta Tank Davis. Ryan Garcia wants Manny Pacquiao before he wants Gervonta Tank Davis. What will it take for a legend like Manny Garcia to want to get in a ring with a young, hungry lion like Ryan Garcia? Sorry, y'all, I'm a fish. Ryan Garcia is tampering with his career by wanting to get in there with a legend like Manny Pacquiao. It would be a good fight. It would be a good fight. Um, and what makes it a good fight is because they both have nothing to do with each other. That's why it's going to be a good fight. They both have nothing to do with each other. Manny Pacquiao just served as a 6-year term in the Philippines as a senator. Ryan Garcia just won the WBC interim belt. He's currently Devin the Dream Haney's WBC mandatory. And Manny Pacquiao is a 8-time world champion, 6 different weight classes. They have nothing to do with each other. It's just on 2 different paths. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. Pacquiao said, oh, yeah. Absolutely. Ryan has everything to gain. Pacquiao has everything to lose. Whether it be physically, because he can get beat up and he's old. That's what he's got to lose. And he's been knocked out before, so he does have mileage or damage, whatever you want to call it. He has that. Manny Pacquiao is 43. I think he just turned 40. I think he's a little younger than Floyd. You know what I mean? For Manny Pacquiao to take a fight with Ryan Garcia means he's just looking for a payday. But if you get knocked out, that's your legacy. You'll be known as the old guy that got knocked out by the young kid. So I'll tell you what, if Ryan Garcia, I was just telling my boy, if Ryan Garcia gets the knockout, if Ryan Garcia fights Manny Pacquiao and gets the knockout, he will be the face of boxing. No doubt. He will no doubt be the face of boxing. He will be the most popular fighter on the planet. If he were to either knock out Manny Pacquiao or technically knock him out, TKO, or just dominate him, especially. But I want to lean towards the knockout. Like if he knocks him out, that would be something. That would be something. Because then it doesn't just put his division on notice. It puts the whole boxing world on notice. It puts it's so many layers to him. What that means, like if he beats Manny Pacquiao, there's so many layers of greatness that Ryan is credible for. Then they're gonna say if he beats Manny Pacquiao, they're gonna say Ryan Garcia is the greatest boxer ever. If you were to knock him out, that's what they're gonna say. But Manny Pacquiao just came off of, I believe it was in July 2019, beating a Keith Thurman in his prime. Beating the undefeated Keith Thurman, knocking him down in, I believe it was the first or second round, and taking his WBA belt. Recently, I heard that Manny Pacquiao was stripped from the WBA belt, So it's up for grab. I don't feel bad for Errol Spence Jr. because now, other than a payday fight with Manny Pacquiao, he doesn't need Manny Pacquiao because he doesn't have a belt anymore. He doesn't need Manny Pacquiao because he doesn't have a belt anymore. So the WBA belt has been stripped from Manny Pacquiao. Um, I believe either they're gonna give it to Ugas, or Ugas is gonna fight for it. I think they're gonna just give it to him, and then Errol Spence is gonna fight Ugas for the WBA belt, and all three belts will be on the line: the IBF, WBC, the IBF, the WBC, and the WBA belt. The red, the green, and the black belt will be on the line for the welterweight championship bout on the PBC Heyman side. Errol Spence first. I think his name is Dennis Ugas. I can't remember his first name, but Ugas. He's a great fighter. He fought Sean Porter. He lost to Sean Porter. Errol Spence beat Sean Porter. Um, Terrence Crawford is still on the other side of the street in the welterweight division, holding the WBO belt. After Errol Spence, assuming Errol Spence gets through Ugas, he needs to fight Terrence Crawford. ESPN, PBC Al Heyman, Bob Arum need to sit down and negotiate a mega fight between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. I don't know how much longer we need to wait, but it's about time. It's about time. I don't know how much longer. I don't know how much longer it's going to take for Bob Arum and Errol Spence Jr. to make a fight, but it's about that time. Errol Spence Jr. will have all three belts: the WBA, IBF, and WBC, and it'll be time to unify for that fourth belt. Put all four belts on the line to see who will be the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. Now, Manny Pacquiao has retired from the welterweight division. I know he's not going to come back and fight none of these young lions. And I can name all of them: Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, and then the young lions: Virgil Ortiz, um, Jerron Ennis. It's just a whole new era. It's just a whole new era of boxing. It's a whole new era of boxing. Ryan Garcia is 22 years old. Manny Pacquiao is about 20 years older than Ryan Garcia. What do they have in common? Other than they both have fast hands. Nothing. Ryan Garcia said that Manny Pacquiao, after Ryan Garcia had put out to the public, "I would love a fight with Manny Pacquiao." Manny Pacquiao reached out to Ryan Garcia and his clique. He had reached out to Ryan Garcia and his clique and asked for that fight. Ryan Garcia and Manny Pacquiao, if they fight, they are tainting the sport of boxing. They are tainting the sport of boxing if they fight. I will feel bad for Devin the Dream Hayden, who has been waiting to fight someone of his caliber, such as a Ryan Garcia, They're both on the same platform. Ryan Garcia is Devin Haney's mandatory, but I feel like him, Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya are gonna find a way to bypass um, the mandatory challenge. They do not want to fight Devin the Dream Haney. Devin is one of the toughest fighters on the planet. He is the boogeyman. Devin the Dream Haney is the boogie. With all respect to Tank, Tank is my favorite fighter as well. But Devin the Dream Haney is the boogeyman. Nobody wants to fight him at the lightweight division. So Ryan Garcia has been very outspoken since he's fought Luke Campbell. Um, he's been in the media talking about Gervonta Tank Davis nonstop right after he fought Luke Campbell. And, going to Mike Tyson's podcast, going to Max Kellerman's ESPN, Max Unboxing, and saying that he's going to knock out Gervonta Tank Davis in 2 rounds. Ryan Garcia has been going to every platform and saying 2 rounds, 2 rounds. Every platform. He is. He is. But what made it smart that what Ryan Garcia did is that he used Gervonta Tank's name to get Manny Pacquiao's attention. He used Gervonta Tank Davis' name to get Manny Pacquiao's attention. That's what he did. So, can you respect it? I can respect it if he fights either Devin Haney, Tank Davis. But if he fights Manny Pacquiao, he has to knock him out. And he has to not get knocked out. But that's what I say about that. If you aren't gonna fight who you're supposed to, like Devin Haney or Tank Davis or Teofimo Lopez. Can't forget Teofimo Lopez on ESPN. But he's about to fight his mandatory and move up to junior welterweight. After he fights his mandatory at lightweight, we'll just have to see. Ryan Garcia is definitely on his high horse right now. And it sucks because he's a good fighter, but he's really confusing the public on what he's putting out there. After he announced the fight with Manny Pacquiao, Gervonta Tank Davis tweeted that he doesn't want the fight anymore. Yeah, because a lot of people, you don't want to see him knock out Pacquiao because a lot of people like Pacquiao. A lot of people like Manny Pacquiao. But Manny Pacquiao's been knocked out before. Manny Pacquiao was like 63-7 for the record. That's just for the record. 63-7. Manny Pacquiao 63-2 and 63 wins, 7 losses. And he's definitely been knocked out before. Cold. I forgot about it. I think it was his name like Marianga. It starts with the M, Mariaga. He's been knocked out by him before. And he's lost. He's been dominated. Floyd beat him. But he also has a lot of good wins. He's beat Manny Pacquiao, beat Oscar De La Hoya. He's beat Keith Thurman. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao's a great fighter. Manny Pacquiao's a great fighter. But if you're gonna fight 70 times, you might lose 7 of them. You might lose 7 of them. But yeah, Ryan Garcia. He's a young dude, 22 years old, like 21 fights. Um, but he wants a money fight this early. He wants to use his fame, wants to use his publicity, and what he really wants to do, he wants to brag. He wants to brag to Devin Haney and Tank Davis and Teofimo Lopez and say he's the cash cow. That's what he wants to do. He wants to get this fight. He wants to earn all this money and say that he's the A side or say he's the cash cow so that when Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Tank Davis want to speak up, Ryan Garcia, assuming he gets the Manny Pacquiao fight and say he beats Manny Pacquiao and looks spectacular doing that, he's gonna look down on Gervonta Tank Davis, Devin Haney, and Teofimo Lopez like the peasants and say that he's the A side, when really all 3 of those guys that I mentioned have belts. Devin Haney has the WBC. Teofimo Lopez has the WBO and IBF. Gervonta Tank Davis has the WBA. And this is at the lightweight division. Ryan Garcia's record or Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia, they're all undefeated. Except Manny Pacquiao. All these young guys I mentioned are undefeated with like 20 fights. They're all like about 20-0. 20-0 to 25-0, somewhere in that range. All world champions, except Ryan Garcia. We cannot forget about Shakur Stevenson. Cannot forget about Shakur Stevenson from the super featherweight division that is eventually going to fight all of these guys. He's just one weight class under. Ryan Garcia's record is like 21-0, 18 knockouts, I think. 21-0, 18 knockouts. So it's a big puncher, very skilled fighter. He is with Canelo. He is with Canelo's team and he is with Canelo's team, and Ryan Garcia and Canelo share the same coach. Ryan Garcia and Canelo share the same coach. Eddie Reynoso. And the reason why Ryan Garcia has been so good and has been able to elevate his talent, elevate his publicity and his fame and his IG, not only from his smarts outside of the boxing ring, engaging with the public on social media, but inside of the ring, elevating his skills with Eddie Reynoso and learning how to sit down on his punches and throw power punches and great counter punches, and really just establishing himself and his brand, you know, as a boogeyman type, knockout artist type. So a lot of respect for Ryan Garcia, a lot of respect, but he's kind of going towards what people think of him, which is what he doesn't. He's not siding with them, but he's actually what it really means is he's actually listening to what the trolls are saying. So if the trolls are calling him an Instagram fighter or an internet fighter, he's kind of he's kind of been in the media doing internet things that don't make sense. Like speaking out and saying he wants Gervonta Tank Davis, and literally the next day saying, all right, I'm about to fight Manny Pacquiao, and posting it on Instagram. Deep down, he knows he can't knock out Gervonta Tank Davis in 2 rounds. I like the confidence. I like the build up. I like the promo. So that's how I feel about that. That's how I feel about that. I love the Caleb Plant fight that took place just this last Saturday. Caleb Plant performed very nice against Caleb Truax in defending his IBF belt. Caleb Plant was flawless. He used his jab. He threw punches and bunches. Great footwork. He was elusive. Great uppercuts. Guys like Benavidez. He is working to get the Canelo fight. So, from whatever the Garcia and the Manny Pacquiao fight, the terms are being discussed right now. That's what the representative of Ryan Garcia said. The terms are being discussed right now. So, but at the same time, I forgot to mention that the Golden Boy Promotions executive, I forgot his name. I just read on the ESPN. I just read on the ESPN. I just read on the ESPN article that the Golden Boy Promotions executive has said that Ryan Garcia and Manny Pacquiao fight is just a dream, meaning it's not gonna happen. But then later in the article, it said that Ryan Garcia's representative said that they're discussing the terms. Lately on social media, the pretty much this whole week, past few days, it's Tuesday, Ryan Garcia has been very quiet about the the Manny Pacquiao fight. So so you know, it's being discussed right now. It's probably a hype. It's probably a hype job. Um, it's probably a hype job just to get everybody's attention. It could be just a distraction. But Devin Haney has now said that he doesn't want Ryan Garcia. He wants Teofimo Lopez on another platform. I would like to see how this unfolds too. The lightweight division is on fire. I want to see who Gervonta Tank Davis is going to fight next, because he is a household name. Um, he was like I've seen Gervonta Tank Davis really sell out arenas. He has sold out his hometown Baltimore, the Baltimore arena twice. He has sold out Atlanta. He is pay-per-view. He's a pay-per-view fighter compared to all the rest of these lightweights. He just went pay-per-view just this last Halloween. Knocked out Leo Santa Cruz in like the 7th round with the most vicious uppercut I've ever seen. Um, but Ryan Garcia has a lot of money too. Ryan Garcia might be a little bit more famous than Tank. As crazy as that is, Tank is a 4-time world champion, 25 years old. He should be. I think he's turning 26 this year. So he's been in the game for a minute now. Um, Ryan Garcia is 22 years old with 4 times as many. I think Tank has 2 million Instagram followers. Ryan Garcia has 8 million. Ryan Garcia has 8 million Instagram followers. And he doesn't have a belt. He's a contender. He's a contender. He's a mandatory, and he's probably a little bit more famous than Gervonta Tank Davis, who was a four-time world champion, and he's more famous than a lot of fighters. He's top five most famous fighters right now, and there's fighters who have been um, who have been fighting 10 years plus sometime. Like, don't be surprised if Floyd Mayweather comes out of nowhere and fights Ryan Garcia in the exhibition. By the way, the Floyd Mayweather fight has been canceled for now. The Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight has been canceled for now because of, quote, lack of interest. Quote, lack of interest. So they're just, you know what I mean? They're these are just money fights, and you know what I mean? If they're bored, if they're bored, they could just keep pushing back the date. I heard that's what Mike Tyson did. I heard Mike Tyson kept pushing back the date when he fought Roy Jones Jr. That's what you could do when you're the A side. When you're the A side, you are in charge. You can manipulate the business. Those are the pros of being the A side. Now, the Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul fight would generate a lot of money. They would at least get $100 million each. $100 million each. Ryan Garcia and Manny Pacquiao fight would probably get somewhere between at least 30 to 50 million each off pay-per-view. Gervonta Davis probably got 5 to 10 million. Probably got 5 to 10 million on his pay-per-view fight against Leo Santa Cruz. Black versus Mexican, America versus Mexico sells. So it's a great business move. Great business move. Generated a lot of money. That was through COVID-19 social distance fans. Social distance fans. Those are the four stars at the lightweight division: Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Tank Davis, who will be at the top of the division. Another fight I want to see Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant just beat Caleb Truax. I want to see Caleb Plant. I want to see Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez. It's a fight I want to see at the super middleweight division. I just seen Caleb Plant on Max on Boxing. He's just been taking care of his mandatories, the IBF belt. Caleb Plant is one of the nicest boxers on the planet. He is my guy out of Tennessee. He's my guy out of Tennessee. He's a star. He's like a Conor McGregor. It's like a Conor McGregor or Travis Kelce. Conor McGregor, Travis Kelce type swag. He's the real deal. He's the real deal. He knows how to box. He knows how to hit and not get hit. That's all the point of boxing. Hit and not get hit. These fighters be trying to have slugfest. And I'm not knocking my guy Tank, because Tank is a dog. Tank is a dog, and stylistically, stylistically, he's gonna get hit a few times because he wants to catch his opponent on the chin, and he's a more riskier fighter. He's a real knockout artist. You know, there's guys like Deontay Wilder and Tank who literally put themselves in jeopardy, put their health, they put their chin, they put their lives on the line just to get that knockout, which comes off as entertaining to the boxing world and the fans. That's why Gervonta Tank Davis is box office. Unless we're talking about the real plumbers, the real PE teachers, um, that he knocked out. Like there's a couple of them he knocked out in the first couple rounds, but if we talk about the Gamboa fight, which I just watched again last night, that went to 12 rounds, and Tank was, or the Pedraza fight where he won his first belt, that went to 7 rounds, and Tank likes to toy with his opponents to make it look like it's a good fight, and also gives his opponents confidence just so that he can tire them out and knock them out. You see, that's the thing about boxing. Um, it's a chess game. It's a chess game. And Gervonta Tank Davis plays the biggest mind games, plays the most mind games I've ever seen in the boxing ring. Gervonta Tank Davis will literally get punched on purpose to discourage his opponent. Gervonta Tank Davis will literally, there's 3 minutes in a round. The whole first minute and a half, the whole first half of a round, Gervonta Davis will purposely not throw a punch, and he'll purposely get hit because he has defense. He has, if when he wants to, he has the best defense in the world. Like in every aspect of the game, Gervonta Davis can do. He can play defense. He can fight from the inside. He can use his jab, but he just chooses to be a knockout artist and put himself on the line. So, forgot where I was going with that, but oh yeah. So Gervonta Davis plays mind games. So Jose Pedraza, who he beat for his first belt and went all the way to round 7, Gervonta Davis was getting touched a little bit, and then he just knocks him out. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. He was he was he was giving the whole boxing world the illusion he that it's a close fight. He was giving the whole boxing world the illusion that it was a close fight until round 7, where it was like, okay, Tank, are you gonna throw a punch? I see you're in the pocket, you know, you're slipping, you're slipping. Um, and then just a burst of energy, he just slips and throws the hardest punch we've ever seen. So um, that's what makes Gervonta Tank Davis a really scary fighter. That just makes Gervonta Tank Davis a really scary fighter. And what plays a role in Gervonta being like that is his background. He said he grew up fighting from the hood. The reason why he was put in boxing because he was fighting too much. So everybody else who boxes just boxes, and they have cleaner styles. Gervonta Tank Davis has a reckless style because he grew up street fighting. He grew up in the hood street fighting. So, but all power to him. He's definitely used that to become very successful, make a lot of money, get all the big fights, establishing a brand in which fans are literally coming to see Gervonta Tank Davis knock somebody out and put somebody on the canvas. I can only imagine how real, how real, and how crazy it would look like in person to see Gervonta Tank Davis throw blows. I can only imagine how real and how devastating and how egregious it would be to see Gervonta Tank Davis versus somebody in person. But there's fighters like Gervonta Tank Davis who could do anything, but mainly just want to get you out of there. They mainly want to get their opponent out of there. And then there's fighters like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson who are boxing technicians. There's fighters like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson who are boxing technicians that will box the living crap out of you. That will box the living crap out of you. Shakur Stevenson has the skill where he could be right in front of an opponent. He could be right in front of an opponent and not get hit. Now, if that isn't the most elusive thing you could ever see, like when Shakur Stevenson fights, he'll be right in front of an opponent and literally like miss the punches, like miss like centimeters away. So like the way he finds his distance, like he just knows distance and is a very calculated boxer. It's very scary. And then he has pop. He's gonna outbox you. He's gonna outbox you. So Gervonta Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, all great fighters. Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson are the technicians. They can outbox the heck out of you. Shakur, and then there's Ryan Garcia. What type of fighter is Ryan Garcia? Ryan Garcia has great skills. Um, Ryan Garcia is trying to knock you out too. But Ryan Garcia is not a Tank Davis. He's a skinnier fighter. He's a wiry fighter. So it's not that he's strong, but he has a lot of pop. So if he catches you, either it's in the body or on the chin, it can knock you out. If he catches you, it can knock you out. So, but Ryan Garcia, his defense is not as good as a Devin Haney, or Shakur Stevenson. And then Tank Davis's defense is not perfect on purpose because he's trying to get in your grill and show you that he can take your punch. But Ryan Garcia is a premature fighter. He's a fighter that has a lot of potential and it keeps getting better and better. Ryan Garcia also has the weakest chin out of everybody. We've seen what Luke Campbell did to him in the second round. It was good that he got up, kept fighting, but he has to clean up his defense. Ryan Garcia, what the Luke Campbell fight showed me is that he needs to keep his hands up or move his head. He needs to keep his hands up or move his head. Ryan Garcia needs to keep his hands up or move his head when he's fighting good fighters. So if Manny Pacquiao catches Ryan Garcia, like he did Keith Thurman, it could be end of the game, end of the night. Sorry, could be end of the night, could be night night. Um, Luke Campbell is a good fighter, but he doesn't know how to finish off a fighter. He's not the best fighter. He's not. He doesn't have the experience. Like he doesn't know how to finish a fight like a Manny Pacquiao can, or definitely Tank can finish off a fighter. I think Devin Haney can finish off a fighter if he sees you hurt. Shakur Stevenson, who's I would argue probably the most flawless fighter on the planet, most flawless fighter on the planet, doesn't get touched. Knows how to hit and not get hit. It's a lot of talent. And the young era of boxing, the new faces of boxing have so much talent, and they are taking over. They are taking over the sport. They are the nicest in their divisions. Teofimo Lopez, the other um, really good fighter at lightweight. What type of fighter is he? He's actually a knockout artist. Teofimo Lopez is also a knockout artist, just like Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. Um, Teofimo Lopez wants to knock your head off, but he also can box pretty well. Um, all of these young fighters they fight like Floyd, but I would say Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney have the Floyd's stance down to a T. They have Floyd's stance down to a T. Defensively, defensively they rock the either some call it the Mayweather shell, the Philly shell. Um, the thing about Teofimo Lopez is that he's got to fix up his defense just a little bit, and that's because he wants to rock the Mayweather shell because everybody wants to be Floyd. Everybody, Floyd as if it wasn't for Floyd, they probably wouldn't fighters wouldn't be fighting like this. So Teofimo Lopez, he's a great fighter. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's really one of the best fighters out there. I just think he's just one level under Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis. I think him and Ryan Garcia might be on the same level. Um, I would pick Teofimo Lopez to beat Ryan Garcia. But Teofimo Lopez is a great fighter. He's also only like 23 or 24. He's like 23. And he's really a star. He's really a star. He just beat Lomachenko. He has two of the belts at the lightweight division. Eventually, all of these guys will have to get in the ring with each other. Eventually, all these guys will have to get in the ring with each other. Eventually, these guys will have to get in the ring with each other. So, yep, I'm excited about that. But Teofimo Lopez is a great fighter. He's gonna move up to 140 and fight these other guys. Josh Taylor. He wants the winner of Josh Taylor and Ramirez, and that's big. That's big that he wants that fight because then the winner of that needs to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. Winner of that needs to fight the pound for pound king at the welterweight division, Terrence Bud Crawford, especially if Terrence Crawford cannot get Errol Spence for the unification at welterweight. ESPN top rank Bob Arum need to do big things. If they are not going to negotiate with Al Heyman PBC side, they need to make massive fights happen this year, next year. No kizzy. No kizzy. But I like what Bob and ESPN. I like that staff, that promotion staff, because they sign a lot of great fighters. They sign a lot of great fighters. Shakur Stevenson's on that platform. Berlanga, who was a star at the super middleweight division, 15-0, 15 knockouts, all in the first round. He's definitely going to be the next face of boxing. I don't care who he's fought. It's on Top Rank platform. Like, they're not weak fighters. He's knocking them all out in the first round. I like what Bob and ESPN have been doing on their platform and building up these elite fighters. Terrence Crawford. But just like they did, they made the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight. It's like when they sat down and make those fights. And honestly, the reason why they're taking a lot of time to make all these big fights happen is because they're trying to wait to post-vaccination so that they can fill up these arenas and really milk out the revenue for these fights. They want to make the most money that they can make. So I was telling my boy, don't be surprised if these fights don't happen until all of these young bulls are like 30 or 35. Like, they might, some of this, I don't know who's gonna fight who, but one of these fights is probably gonna generate a lot of money down the line, like hundreds of millions. So promoters are like, nah, why would I throw my asset, fighters, if we're calling fighters asset, why would I want my asset, why would I want my fighter to fight a high risk, low reward right now when I'm trying to build them up to be the next superstar in boxing, worth, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars? Why would I want to put him in there with the best fighters in the world? Now he's gonna get in there with a lot of good fighters in his career on the way, but why would I want to put him in with probably the best fighters on the planet when I can build him up to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars? Because once you lose your stock, the stock goes down. Once you lose, the stock goes down and messes up the whole brand as a fighter. Um, the fighter's brand is messed up. Once the fans see a fighter lose, um, it gets messed up for the time being. Now they can work it back up. They can work it back up, but you got to look at it from, a brand's perspective. You know, you want that fighter to stay undefeated and, keep the stock and get, attention. Want the most attention. Oh, he's an undefeated fighter. Oh, he's been champion and champion over and over again. That's what the fans want to see. But maybe not so much anymore too. Um, the fans want to see Ryan Garcia fight a hockey player. The fans want to see Floyd Mayweather fight a YouTuber. Like, boxing has really been tainted. So that's just what it is. That's just what it is. But Ryan Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao is a money fight. It would generate tens of millions of dollars, tens of hundreds of millions, tens of millions of dollars. I would say like 50 million at least. But you gotta be careful. Manny Pacquiao has to be careful. So does Ryan Garcia with his no chin, having self. I love Ryan Garcia, but he doesn't have a chin. And he has to be careful if he's gonna fight Manny Pacquiao and Gervonta Tank Davis. He has to clean up his defense and chew big pieces of gum. That way they can strengthen his muscle jaws. And he needs to work on his neck. His neck looks a little scrawny. This is not me hating. I just have seen other fighters with that physique, and offensively, they were really talented, such as an Amir Khan. Um, there's a whole long list of fighters, but Amir Khan is the one that sticks out. Great fighter. We have never seen that type of offensive talent. But when he fights fighters like Canelo, Terrence Crawford, Danny Garcia, his chin is getting tested. His chin is getting tested, and you get knocked out. So if you're not in the gym working on your neck and your jaw muscles and your defense, most importantly the defense, all the extra stuff um, is a bonus. All those other exercises are a bonus, but if you're gonna get hit, you want to make sure your chin is good. Um, if you're gonna fight till you're 30 and 35, you're gonna fight another lion. You're gonna fight a really good fighter who's gonna catch you on the chin. It's happened to Floyd. It's happened to Manny Pacquiao. That's happened to all the legendary fighters. Their chin has got, even with Floyd. Floyd got his chin tested and he's never failed to the canvas, but he's got his chin tested and almost failed. He's got his chin tested and really buckled and had to hold on to the opposition when he fought Zab Judah. He got rocked when he fought Shane Mosley. He got rocked. That's Floyd Mayweather, the greatest boxer we've ever seen on the planet, who has never lost, 50-0. He's got his chin tested. Um, and then there's the other side. When you do get your chin tested, it has to be like a natural instinct to hold and survive. And you have to look, and the boxing is a sport where you have to look like you're not hurt. If you show your opponent you're hurt, then that sends them a signal to finish you off, and that sends a signal to the ref. Then that sends a signal subsequent to that, the referee could throw the towel. Um, uh, your team, your coach could throw the towel. Um, and the fight will be over. So yeah, the main thing is defense. Defense. The main thing is defense for Ryan Garcia. And this is not for just Manny Pacquiao. This is not just for the Manny Pacquiao fight. This is not just for the Devin Haney fight. This is not just for the Gervonta Tank Davis fight. This is for any fight going forward. Um, he needs to work on his defense. He needs to work on his defense because I do not like Ryan Garcia's chin. He got knocked down by a good fighter, but it wasn't a bomb. It was just a good punch. It was just a good punch. But thank you for watching another live of Free Blues Boxing. You know what it is. I'm bringing you exclusive, unlimited boxing content, knowledge, wisdom, and experience. We're going to keep it coming this week. We're going to go live every day. Um, we're going to be dropping content at least a couple times a week. And yeah, we're just gonna keep it coming. There's gonna be more exciting fights to catch this year. The Canelo fight is about to be made. It's a long list of fighters. Super super excited. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. Um, please hit the subscribe, like, and the notification bell for unlimited content. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.